cowboy zombies, time travel, Homer cloning himself, and even Flanders' head hanging. So get comfortable, because this is The Simpsons' Treehouse of Horror 13. The intro of the episode begins with a séance by The Simpsons, who are trying to help Ned contact his wife.
Give me a kiss!
Who, if you recall, Homer sent to heaven. However, it turns out to be Bart, who is surprised by everyone's reaction, and then the spectre of Maud, with the fury of 1,000 demons, warns them that they don't know what terror is, and the episode begins. It all starts with Homer resting his belly in the backyard. Marge tells him that all the food he ate was meant for a special dinner at the parish. The hammock breaks due to Homer's weight. A mysterious vendor arrives near the Simpson house by chance, and Homer buys a hammock despite the vendor's warnings. Homer tries it out for the first time to rest, but something inexplicable and disturbing happens. Homer, surprised, examines the clone to see if it is exactly like him, realizing it doesn't have a belly button. Later, while Homer continues resting, his clone starts doing the tasks Marge had assigned. Since he couldn't lift his own weight, he comes up with the idea to create another clone to help him. After throwing away the corpse to Flanders' house, Homer has a beer. The clone wants one too, but Homer tells him his duty is to do the house chores.
Me need clone. Clone? That's ridiculous. Where am I supposed to find a...
With that in mind, Homer creates more clones to get the chores done even faster. We see Homer literally multiplying himself, using his clones to spend time with Grandpa and also with his wife. When he spends time with his children playing baseball, Lisa notices how strange her dad is. Upon returning home, Marge wants to give a special gift to the clone who spent the afternoon with her, but Homer, who was paying attention, claims Marge's gift, ending in a strangling fight.
Why, you little...
The other clones help the original Homer, saying this was the only way they could win.
Take 3 clones to beat the original Homer. I mean 4.
After a while, we see how Homer had exaggerated the number of clones in the house. At breakfast, we see Ned asking Homer for his chainsaw that he had stolen. One of the clones misunderstands Homer's instructions and ends up doing something disturbing. Knowing everything is out of control, Homer takes the clones far from the city. He then asks if anyone know how to get back. The ones who know are eliminated.
I do. Anybody else?
Now trying to be responsible with the hammock, he throws it away, leaving it next to the clones. The clones, with their limited intelligence, take the hammock and continue making clones. With an entire army of Homers, they first ravage poor Gil's cornfield. The Homers arrive in the city, searching for beer, gathering at Moe's Tavern. In a military meeting about the clone problem, they show how the clones could take over the country in days.
No!
When Homer screams in despair because there are no donuts, Lisa comes up with an idea. All the clones are lured with giant donuts toward a cliff where each of them, in their idiocy, runs without thinking of anything but eating. At night, Marge, happy that the clone problem was over, realizes that Homer doesn't have a belly button, saying that the original Homer was the first to fall, ending up simply accepting the new clone. In the second part, Lisa and Bart are burying a pet in the cemetery, and after the loss, Lisa notices the headstone of a young man who dreamed of a world without weapons.
Don't we all, William? Lisa has a dead boyfriend.
Lisa promises her new, unknown friend, who no longer exists, to fulfill his dream of a world without weapons. After a speech by Lisa in activist mode, she convinces all the residents of Springfield to give up their weapons.
I'm sorry.
And we see even Snake selling his weapon, with which he had once committed crimes, and now, being unarmed, Wiggum mocks him saying he's not so tough anymore.
And are you, Snake? Oh!
The Simpsons apparently had a large number of weapons in their house, and Homer can't get rid of his last and most favourite weapon.
Hey boy, you'll be shooting angels in heaven.
The police force does the same, and Lisa happily celebrates her achievement with the residents of Springfield.
Hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip.
Hooray!
In a special meeting, the mayor inaugurates the new playground made from recycled weapons. And when the mayor declares Springfield officially defenseless, Lisa mentions she wishes her friend William Bonney was here to see his dream come true.
But I ain't.
William Bonney.
Known as Billy the Kid.
Now self-named Billy the Kid, he appears as a thief and, at the same time, presents his allies from the Springfield graves, saying that since they are the only ones with weapons, they would do whatever they wanted in the town.
Now let's rob the bank, give the money to the poor, then rob the poor and shoot the money.
In Moe's bar, we see the outlaw corpses causing havoc like in the Old West, and seeing Homer with musical abilities, they tell him to play the piano.
I said piano.
The Simpsons, as a group, sing songs for the thieves about cows and bank robberies.
To the bank and snatch that dough. Please don't hurt our family.
Homer is captured by Dr. Frink, who gives him a time machine to get rid of the outlaws tormenting them. Homer arrives just before Lisa's initial speech, explaining directly what was happening, and with an enraged and obedient crowd, everyone in the cemetery begins shooting at the graves of the outlaws.
The tragedy prevented by gun violence.
Everything goes well, and Lisa laments what could have happened, thinking that maybe weapons are the answer.
I guess guns really are the answer.
However, another time traveler arrives saying that in another future, weapons will destroy the world.
What is this, open mic night?
Moe gets rid of the time traveler by shooting him and keeps the time machine to travel and meet some cave women hookers. In the third part, we see the Simpson family on a plane traveling to Dr. Hibbert's special island.
Hey, what could be more fun than an island shaped like a big smiley face?
And upon getting off the plane, Dr. Hibbert welcomes them with one of his workers. During dinner, Marge feels happy about all the fighter class attention they were receiving, and when Lisa mentions that questioning things is what separates us from animals, Dr. Hibbert gets angry. We then move to dinner and see that the main course is a bird resembling Professor Frink.
Wait a minute now.
At night, Marge feels discomfort and fear because she knows something bad is happening on the island. Marge goes to a room where she hears many screams, and out of nowhere, Dr. Hibbert catches her from behind, mentioning he was always nearby. Later, Marge appears looking like a cat, and since Homer is a bit slow, he simply thinks it's time for some affection. After that special moment, Homer tells his wife she was a wild one in the act.
Never seen you use your tail like that.
And when she looks out the window, sees a bird, Marge unleashes her animal instincts and eats it. With that, Homer decides to investigate, finding Ned in the House of Pain, who says he could help him only if he gives him a hand with a little problem he has. He needs a hand with his milk.
Milk me.
I really don't want it.
Homer doesn't want to do that because, well, for obvious reasons, but wanting to help his wife, he agrees.
Ooh, that's nice.
Ned takes Homer deep into the jungle to a meeting of humans turned into animals. Jeff, as the leader of them all, says they must embrace their animal nature by leaving their pants frozen.
Okay, but I'm keeping the tattered vest. I still have my dignity. Hey, Slop!
Surprised, tells them he can't believe they abandoned their human lives. We then see Lisa following her animal instincts, trying to eat Maggie,
Eat my shorts!
and also Bart, half spider, continuing to prank his dad. Homer tries to convince all the human-animal hybrids to fight against the one who turned them into monsters, when suddenly Dr. Hibbert appears, giving them another perspective of what happened according to him. After positive testimonies from some,
Me gusto pollen.
most begin to believe that their new state is better. Homer tries to convince them, saying that the things they do all day have no purpose.
And mate! And roll around in your own filth! And mate! And eat! Where do I sign up?
In the end, we see everyone having a good time in a special area for them, where a walrus Homer hasn't been this skinny since high school. Well, friends, those were 3 bizarre stories, like the time a young Homer and his friends had to face a clown that was disappearing children. If you want to know more about this story, watch this video next. But before that, don't forget to subscribe and drop a like.